I'm Mike.
And I'm Adam.
And this is Stuff and Waffle. Two friends talking about stuff, and often as not, waffling with frequent reference to Bond cars.
Like a replica Lamborghini Countach that is in reality a Pontiac Fiero, our proportions are slightly off, but we are here for your delectation.
Yeah, the proportions are a little awkward. That's fair.
Bit wonky. Yeah.
I blame the middle-aged element.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, the undercarriage has gone very wrong. However, here we are, and it's time for nobody's favourite point of the week, two truths, one lie.
Yes, you're correct. We come into it with a score of 34 to 32.
Yes. Now, everything to play for you this evening, because if you can get I say this evening, it may not be an evening when you're listening to this, but this week, if you can get a point tonight, you really pull ahead.
It's not happened in an awfully long time. The odds are not in my favour.
Well, it depends on the quality of the statements, doesn't it?
Well, so I've heard.
Yeah. So I guess I need to fire them at you, and let's see what happens here. Am I really falling behind, or are you going to follow the trend and fail as well?
I have a working theory.
See. Yeah. You do.
Right, go on then.
They are fairly short and sweet, which you'll be pleased to hear about.
Yeah, I think that's working for us. It's certainly working for the dear listener as well, because I think they appreciate short and sweet from the general feedback we get occasionally about two truths, one lie. They like the quick fire nature of the short ones, because it's the quick fire nature does not extend to the answering, because we do dawdle. I'll see if I'll speed it up. I'll see how I get on.
We dawdle, we waffle, we second guess, we go back and forth, we're unsure. It's a dithery old time for both of us, isn't it?
Yeah, you are correct. But we'll have a go.
And that's after your editing. It takes even longer for us.
Yeah. I'm the real hero here.
I wouldn't go that far. Okay. Here we go then.
Go on then.
Poised as your brain is, I'm sure.
Yes, quite.
Yes. Okay, number one. The 2018 Chevrolet Express was the last passenger vehicle sold in the United States with factory sealed beam headlights.
That's excellent.
You like that?
I do, and there it is. It's arrived.
There it is for you. Yeah.
Interesting. I like that. Really like that. I don't know whether I like it because it's true or false. I just like it because it's quite funny. And you're like, why are you doing that then? But Americans, probably.
Americans, absolutely.
Yeah. Highly likely outcome. Anyway, let's not digest too much at the moment.
No. Let's move on. So number two. A statement about a car that actually was in one of your statements last week.
Was it?
The Lotus Elise's suspension geometry was designed so that the car gains a tiny amount of negative camber when over a certain weight.
Oh. So when you say over a certain weight, when it's got a robust passenger or driver.
It could have a whole American on board, or say a full fuel tank.
Yeah, that's a much nicer way of putting it, isn't it?
Okay. Isn't it? Yes, you can choose which one in the edit.
No, they're both staying in because it's hilarious. That's really interesting. I like that.
Okay.
So I like both of them, so that's good.
That's good. I'm coming up with ones you like. That's a start. Okay. Right, number 3. I like this one. In 1984, Volkswagen launched the Quantum Synchro, the first all-wheel drive Passat estate, with the all-wheel drive system taken from the Audi Quattro.
I see. All right.
There's your 3. Have a chew.
Consider me chewing. Ah, blimey. So let's think about this then. So we've got. Let's start off with the. Oh God, what is it? Chevrolet Express. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, even though you won't, because you can't. That's just a van. As far as my Chevy knowledge goes.
Yes. I'm not massively familiar with American Chevys either, but does revealing that help you at all? I don't know.
I don't think it's fair to, actually, because that's me almost sort of going, oh, this one then.
No, I'm not gonna confirm or deny any details on that.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I was sort of pushing my luck. So, I don't know. Well, I say I don't know. Yeah, probably. American van's been in production for decades through various iterations. They probably did do that. I don't have anything to work with other than just go, yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's often the way.
Yeah.
Often the way.
I don't know much about this Elise thing. Deliberately setting up suspension geometry. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Let's have a little digest of this last one, shall we? So, what were we saying? In 1984, Volkswagen launched the Quantum Synchro. So we put there. The first all-wheel drive Passat estate with an all-wheel drive system taken from the Audi Quattro. Interesting. Well, I mean, maybe.
That's what you've said for all of them so far. Yeah, maybe.
All right. I think that's got potential. Because, well, yeah, I suppose, it's got potential. It's a stupid name, but I suppose it's 80s, isn't it?
That I did claim it was, yes.
It's just, I think the only bit that it probably is the name that's bothering me the most. It's just a weird name for it. If you're going to get like you can understand Quattro. This just the sort of Quantum Synchro, just a bit daft, but it doesn't mean it's wrong. Oh dear.
You're having more puzzlement over these than I thought you would.
Yeah,
which is good.
Well, the trouble is, it's like I don't really know any of them. They all sound vaguely feasible. It's just going to be that unfortunate situation of having to pick one that is just I don't know. Do you find the least plausible out of a whole plausible bunch?
Yeah, that's the trouble, isn't it? I mean, I sometimes quite often, I think they're either all crap or they're all true.
Yeah,
It doesn't help.
It feels like there's a lot of truth to all of them, but obviously, unless you've colossally cocked up, one of them is false.
It could happen one day.
Hmm.
Wouldn't rule that out.
No, it's probably going to be one of those ones where I turned to my side slightly. Pick up a tasty, cool beverage of beer. Have a swig and just have a punt. Yeah.
Oh, that sounded like you really enjoyed that.
I did. It's really ice cold. It's quite lovely.
That's excellent.
I'm really enjoying it as well because the beer isn't warming up too quickly because it's not unpleasantly warm in the room today. It's an agreeable temperature.
I fear we are but between heat waves at the moment, but I'm enjoying it while it lasts.
Yeah,
yes.
I don't care. It's not one at the moment, and as we were discussing earlier, the next time there is one, highly likely I've got my week off, so I will be doing vital research for everyone concerned by testing beer gardens in extreme temperatures.
And I won't.
Well, anyway, right. What that's done is has had a bit of deliberation time for me there. So I'm going to do what I tell you to do quite often, and shit will get off the pot. And
just get on with it. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to go with nothing more than punt territory here because I can't lock in on any of these. So I'm just going to have to guess. Right. Now, hold on tight.
Buckle up. Here it comes.
Here it comes. So, I'm going to say Chevy, true. I'm going to say Lotus, false. And I'm going to say Volkswagen, true. I'm going to lock it in. I'm not going to think about it any longer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
Decisive.
Me. Decisive. I got nothing.
Yeah, you're on it. You're no messing.
Nope.
Okay.
I got nothing other than a tasty beer.
I should be equally as rapid with the answer then, shouldn't I? Really?
You should, but I get the feeling you probably won't.
But I probably won't be. Now I'm going to waste a bit of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I failed to gain a point last week. And as we said before, the last time that happened, it did kick off a brief trend, and you got yours wrong as well.
I did.
Yes. So the scores stayed static for a few weeks. Now, has that happened again? Have I fooled you with my Chevy and my Lotus and my V-Dub? That is the question that's on everyone's lips.
Correct.
Is Quantum Synchro too silly a name to be true? Is bendy wheels on a Lotus too silly to be true? Or is knackered old headlights on a Chevy van too silly to be true?
Gonna have to put me out of my misery.
Here we go then. You are absolutely correct. Damn you, sir.
Oh, God. That's the luckiest one yet. Oh, my goodness me.
How the hell have you managed that? I thought you were going to go the wrong way. I really did. I thought the Quantum Synchro ridiculous name was going to trip you up. I really did, because you were talking yourself into that at one point. You was, that's a very silly name. Surely they wouldn't have done that.
Yeah. I did nothing to base it on other than, let's have a go.
So, yes, you were correct. The Chevy Express was basically a van. They did do sort of people carrier versions with windows and seats and, minibus type things. But yes, a very basic vehicle that they did indeed make for yonks and yonks. Yars and yars, you might say. And it did indeed. They didn't update any of the tech on it, and it did indeed have sealed beam headlights until 2018.
Amazing. No shock there, then.
Yeah,
probably the most plausible of the lot to the untrained
probably
ear.
The one, yeah, it probably is. Yes, that's true. That's probably not the one to puzzle over.
No.
Now, the Lotus Elise and its suspension, there is absolutely no truth to that at all. I completely made that up. It's absolute crap.
See, I wondered whether you probably base that on the fact that maybe some suspension setups are done like that.
Oh, some are, yeah, indeed, very much so. That is true of some vehicles, but not the Lotus Elise. It doesn't have anything like that. So that was total bobbins. And yes, indeed, the Volkswagen Quantum Synchro. Now, Quantum is the name that Passat was sold under in North America.
Oh, interesting. So, did not know that.
No, neither did I. So the Quantum Synchro was a rare four-wheel drive variant of the B2 generation Quantum or Passat. So the sort of the 80s boxy one. Yeah, I do. Yeah, absolutely. I had a friend who had one.
Look at that. That's
really nice car.
Tremendous. I've stumbled upon...
It is brilliant, isn't it?
I tell you what, someone's obviously... There's been some generally good upkeep of this one, as well as chuck some oh my god, I can't speak. Aftermarket wheels on it. I stumbled upon a Haggerty article.
Oh,
look at that.
Good.
Look at it. It looks tremendous.
They do look good, don't they?
Yeah.
That edition of Passat is a really good looking car. Always was. And
excellent.
So yes, they did do a jacked up four-wheel drive version in North America, which they called the Synchro.
Okay, nice.
It had a 2.2 litre 5-cylinder engine and mechanical permanent four-wheel drive. That thing was a bit of a beast on the quiet.
Oh, that's really... Oh, I like that. Good luck finding one of those then.
Yeah, it was rare in the day. So yeah, finding one now. But what a thing! That would just brilliant.
Lovely.
So there you go. So you have gained a point. So that puts us at 35-32, I believe.
Good heavens.
Which, is this the first time we've been 3 points apart? I think it might be.
It might be. Oh my goodness me.
Blimey. I thought the Passat was gonna trip you up. I think you'd think that just sounded made up. Which I think you did, but you decided to go with it anyway.
Yeah, for no reason. I got nothing.
Yeah. Wow.
I like that.
As you say, we've all learned something again. We now know about the Quantum Synchro, which is a glorious vehicle.
Yeah, like that. That's a bit of us, though.
Yeah, brilliant. It is really, really like that.
What it is it's proof you don't need an SUV.
Oh, absolutely! You could go anywhere in that.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely tremendous. Very
Brilliant.
Good. Right. We'll go get serious now.
Yeah, we do.
So I brought up a hot off the press story last week around the whole Beaulieu National Motor Museum and the whole issue of lease ending and discussions ensuing, and news was patchy. However, a week has passed, and well, you've done fine work, and you're about to fill us in as if you were Craig David.
I don't know about that, but
no, I wouldn't have thought so. Actually.
I've been on the internet, and I have found many facts,
some of which relate to the Beaulieu story.
Some of which relate to this Beaulieu story, and I've written them all down.
Perfect.
And I think it's worth just going through. Well, so Let's do that. So, as you just said, an announcement from Beaulieu that indicated something strange, unexpected was happening down there. And as we commented,
we had last week. It was basically an agreement couldn't be reached, and the lease is ending in 2030. Was the rough gist of what we'd had served up last week.
Right, and we'd got a hint that there were a number of perhaps different parties involved, and
correct.
And from the official announcements, everything sounds, remarkably polite. National Motor Museum saying its long-term ambitions are better served elsewhere. Beaulieu saying it intends to continue operating a motor museum. Lots of expressions of gratitude and appreciation and all that kind of stuff. Everybody seems to be getting along beautifully, but that sort of made us a bit suspicious, because some of the numbers that were being bandied about didn't quite add up, and the situation just felt a bit odd. So, particularly in light of recent refurbishments there, and things like that. So I focused in on a few questions that we were left with last week. So, who owns the cars?
Good start.
Who owns the building? Who gets the admission money? Why did a multi-million-pound redevelopment plan apparently collapse?
Yeah.
Why did the museum spend hundreds of thousands of pounds improving a building that it now intends to abandon? And then there's the small issue of a land speed record car. So I've kind of got answers to all those, I hope.
No, that's right then. Well,
let's see.
Let's go, because I know the answer to a few of these, so they should be relatively easy to explain. Let's start with, I'm sure the first one you said on your list there was, who owns the cars?
Who owns the cars? So, I don't know if we covered much of the history of the museum, but
we did not.
No, I'll just touch on that because it sort of explains, it leads into where some of the cars come from. So, so it was established in 1952 by the third Lord Montague. I say established, he had 3 cars displayed in the entrance hall of Beaulieu Palace House, his ancestral home, and people used to come and see them. That was the extent of it. By the end of the 1950s, the collection had grown and was attracting somewhere in the region of 500,000 visitors. Which is a figure to hold in your head for a little later on.
Duly noted.
But eventually, Lord Montague decided the collection needed a proper home, so he constructed a purpose-built museum building on the Beaulieu estate, opened in 1972, and since then,
that building in question is the original one that we all know and love, so to speak, or the one we have fond memories of, maybe if they're not overly recent.
So, and for the last 50 years, the arrangement has more or less worked. So, the National Motor Museum operated the museum. Beaulieu operated the wider attraction. But most of us thought it was all just one organisation. But as we touched on last week, it's not. There are actually several different interests involved, which helps answer the question, who owns the cars? So the National Motor Museum Trust, which is a charity and operates the museum itself and the archive. Then there's the National Motor Museum Trading Limited, which is a commercial company, which acts as the commercial subsidiary to the trust. There's then Beaulieu Enterprises Limited, which operates most of the wider Beaulieu estate. It takes the admission money. It runs the house and the Abbey and the auto jumbles that they have there.
Yep.
And it runs the other events that they have on the site. Then there's Lord Montague himself, who owns the building operated by the Motor Museum. So they don't own the building, they just operate from it. So we've got a charity, a company, and a private property owner, all operating within the brand of Beaulieu.
Right. Okay.
So then we get this announcement at the beginning of the month. The trust announced that they would be leaving Beaulieu. Said it had been in negotiations with Beaulieu for up to 2 years, had ultimately decided that its long-term ambitions lay elsewhere. Lord Montague was quoted in the announcement, so it all looked rather amicable. Long-term relationship coming to an end, as we discussed before. But then the following day came Beaulieu's response to that.
Yep.
And there's one sentence in there that we focused in on last time, was that they were going to continue to operate a motor museum.
Correct.
Which brings us on to the question, well, how can they do that? Because if the museum is leaving, surely they're going to take all the cars with them. So that brings us on to the question, who owns the cars? So now, the National Motor Museum website, I've been to a number of different sources for this research. The National Motor Museum website lists around 260 vehicles. However, the accounts on the Charity Commission website actually lists 280.
Okay.
So, the picture of who owns them. So, according to their returns to the Charities Commission, coupled with the company accounts at Company's House, 114 cars are owned by the National Motor Museum Trust, the charity.
114, right, okay.
39 are owned by the Montague family privately.
Yep. Okay.
54 are on loan from external parties. And 53 have no obvious ownership attached to them in the published accounts.
Okay.
So those we're simply not sure about. Maybe their true ownership hasn't been decided or isn't clear, or don't know.
Fair enough. Okay, so we've got some defined numbers there. 114 for the trust. Did you say 30 odd for
39
Montague?
for the Montague family themselves. 54 are on loan from outside. Yeah.
Okay, so the loan ones we can disregard. The ones that are up for debate, it's like we ain't going to find out. We can speculate, but it's pointless. But we've got two distinct pools.
We don't know.
114 and 39 are the two opposing forces, should we say?
We could put it like that. Not all those cars are on display either.
No.
There are around 30. The number changes. There are around 30 cars that are not on display. And that will change. Vehicles move around. Loans change. People take their cars back. All that kind of stuff. So, so that's the broad picture on the numbers. But the Museum Trust owns a substantial proportion of the collection.
Yep. So,
which is contrary to the phraseology, if you like, in Beaulieu's announcement that said a significant proportion belonged to them, and they want to continue to run a museum on the site. If you actually look at the numbers in the accounts, that isn't really borne out.
No, but it is ambiguous terminology anyway, so significant is up for interpretation. So
yes,
that's
absolutely. Fine. Absolutely.
Okay.
So both ownership main ownership parties, if you like, the charity and the estate, have some significant vehicles. The trust owns the Lotus 49, the Golden Arrow land speed record car, the PLP 50 as seen on Top Gear, whereas the Montagues own the Sunbeam 1,000 horsepower land speed record car, the replica Jag XJR8, a very early Jag XK120. So they both have.
They got some interesting,
important cars. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So both collections, if you like, do have some historical significance. But obviously the important point, as we said, is that when the charity leaves, they're probably going to take their stuff with them. So Beaulieu has the building, they have the site, they have the brand, but they don't necessarily have the majority of the cars, which is obviously potentially a bit of a problem.
So it's interesting because that statement there that you just made kind of answers question number 2, doesn't it? Who owns the building?
Who owns the buildings is the estate.
Yes. So
the charity owns no property at all. No. There are 2 leases in play. We'll come on to leasing in a minute, but there's 2 leases in play. One for the museum building itself, and another one for the visitor centre, the admission, the building you go to pay your money and buy your tickets, and the shop and all that stuff. Oh, of course,
that is separate. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah. And they're leased separately.
Because you've also got, when you're talking about that building that you like buy your tickets and you got your shop, is that inclusive of they've got the quite large cafe to the left as you go in as well?
Yeah, it's that building.
Yes, all of that. Right, okay, fine.
Yes, that building. They are on that building is on a separate lease to the museum itself.
Okay, right. So we know.
We'll come on to that.
We know who owns the building. That's nice and clear. We know who owns the cars. We know who owns the buildings. Where are we going next?
Well, as in all great mysteries, I thought, let's follow the money.
Yeah, go on then.
Because I've got the accounts from both Companies House and the Charity Commission. Yeah. So let's see where the Wonga goes.
Well,
So, and this is perhaps the most revealing part of what we're talking about. So Beaulieu currently attracts around 310,000 visitors a year. Considerably less than the 500,000 they had in 1952.
Yep, noticeable.
To see 5 cars. So 310,000 visitors a year. But the museum doesn't simply collect all the ticket money from the visitors. The way it works is that Beaulieu, the estate, takes the admission revenue and pays a proportion of that to the trust. So in the most recent accounts that are filed, in Companies House and on the trust, if you look at it from both sides, that payment comes to around £2 million a year.
Okay.
So that's £2 million flowing from the estate to the charity.
Okay.
But Beaulieu Enterprises charges the museum trust for a number of services. So infrastructure, site services, various services that Beaulieu provides to the museum. And that bill, conveniently, also comes to around £2 million.
I see.
Now, this is clearly an accounting exercise that the accountants are running. So £2 million goes one way and £2 million comes back the other way. There's also around £400,000 worth of services going in the opposite direction. So from the museum to the estate.
Right. Yep. Following so far.
Now, these are not necessarily. This isn't unusual if you have related organizations sharing a site. Oftentimes there will be charges back and forth between companies and things. It might sound iffy, but this sort of thing is perfectly normal.
Okay.
There's nothing strange about that. And presumably, if it's all accounted for in the accounts, it's all perfectly legal. So there's nothing funny about that. But it does demonstrate that if the museum were to leave, then any relationship with a new tenant would have to start from scratch, because all the revenue that goes one way also goes the other way. So there's nothing, it's not like one is massively profiting from the other.
Yep.
So now, when we're looking at the setup of the company and the trust, there's another interesting complication, if you like. Lord Montague is a director of Beaulieu Enterprises, which is the company.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also a trustee of the charity.
Oh, God.
Now, his sister, Mary Montague, was a director of Beaulieu Enterprises, and until recently, a trustee of the charity. She resigned as a trustee of the charity on the 16th of July, less than a month before the announcement came out.
Interesting.
So now, does that prove there's been a falling out? No. People leave boards for all sorts of reasons, but when you combine the timing with everything else we've just been looking at, it's probably worth noting that there's been a little bit of a shift there. So the trust, the only person now who sits on the board of the company and the board of trustees of the charity is Lord Montague himself.
Right.
Okay. Now, let's get back to the leasing of the buildings. This isn't straightforward either.
Yeah, of course.
So, and all this information is publicly available, so anybody can verify any of this. But so the main museum building itself is owned by Lord Montague.
Mm-hmm.
The trust occupies it under a 60-year lease, which, as we've just commented, appears to expire around 2030.
Yep.
But importantly, this is a peppercorn lease. So for those not familiar with the term, that's a nominal amount. They're paying £1 a year, £10 a year. It's going to be a nominal fee. It's not going to be much. So for the museum, of course, that's been a fantastic arrangement.
Yeah.
But as I mentioned up front, they have plans to do an extensive development of the museum. So for a potential funder of that development, that relationship or that lease arrangement around the building is more complicated, because if you're being asked to invest millions of pounds in a museum, you're going to ask, well, how long can you guarantee that you can remain in this building?
Yes.
And the answer is maybe 4 years.
Yeah. It's not going to work, is it?
It's not such a good deal, is it?
No.
So that appears to be one of the stumbling blocks of this arrangement, because, well, the trust, as I mentioned, had this big, ambitious plan to develop the museum. Now, this was in 2 phases. The first phase ran from 2024 to 2026 and has just been completed. The trust spent approximately £600,000 on a new exhibition called Driven: Britain's Motoring Story, along with a refurbishment of the entrance and the first part of the museum.
Okay.
Now, around £226,000 of that came from the National Lottery, the Heritage Fund.
Yeah.
So there was already an established relationship there with a major funder. And this £600,000 project wasn't to be the end of it. That was just phase one.
Yep.
The second phase was to be called Motoring into the Future. It was to contain exhibits demonstrating the development of electric cars, hybrid cars, hydrogen fusion, all that kind of stuff. More modern tech. Also, as part of that, it was intended to move some of the collection out of the main building, creating additional exhibition space. There was also going to be a proposed business conference and education centre. The existing collection centre was to be transformed. That was a very ambitious, big project. Under this new plan, would become the Motoring Heritage Hub and form a major part of the new public visitor experience. And finally, as part of that, there was going to be a new museum workshop, similar to the facilities that Haynes have.
Yes.
So more exhibition space, more public access, business facilities, education facilities, new workshop, better storage, completely expanded visitor experience. The total price tag for this was £23 million.
Ooh.
Now, the Trust approached the National Lottery, again, the Heritage Fund, for £9.75 million towards this project.
Okay.
But on the 10th of December, the Trust announced that that application had been rejected. The reasons apparently centred on technical and legal issues that needed to be addressed. And one of those issues appears to have been the long-term security of the building.
Makes sense, yeah.
So, the funding problem. So from the perspective of the major funder, the National Lottery, they're being asked to put in nearly £10 million. Overall project is £23 million, but the museum doesn't own its building. Its lease is approaching expiry, and the organisation that owns the building is a separate company.
Oh dear.
On top of that, the museum doesn't directly control all of the admission revenue. It's paid a percentage by said company.
It's complicated,
So
isn't it?
That it's complicated, and it makes a £10 million investment quite difficult to justify.
You can see why it was a no.
Rejected.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why it was rejected. So this then appears to have led to negotiations between the Trust and the company. The Trust asked the company for a 50-year extension to its lease.
Yeah.
Okay. But it wanted to maintain the peppercorn rent. So it wanted, basically, another 50 years for free.
Right. Yeah, that's not going to go down well, is it?
They also wanted a much larger share of the admission revenue.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So according to, again, citing my sources, according to Autocar and the Museum Association, Beaulieu Enterprises and Lord Montague wanted a very different arrangement to that. They wanted the main museum building to continue. They didn't, want the museum building to continue under a peppercorn rent. They wanted a proper commercial lease agreement with a proper commercial rent in line with what the building would be worth on the open market to lease commercially. And they didn't want to fundamentally change the existing arrangements around management charges and the museum's share of admission revenue.
Fine.
So this appears to be the crux of the, let's not call it a falling out, let's call it a failure to meet on terms for moving forward. So
you could be a politician there.
I couldn't I? So the museum is effectively saying we need long-term security if we're going to invest 23 million. And Beaulieu is saying if you're going to occupy the building long-term, we want a proper commercial relationship and a proper commercial return from it. Both positions are understandable, but they are 1,000 miles apart.
We've reached an impasse.
Yeah, quite. Lots of grim faces across a meeting table, I suspect. So if that is broadly what has happened, and the numbers and the statement seem to bear that out,
yes,
it sort of changes the interpretation of the museum's departure, because if the museum didn't initially want to leave, as they said, and their plan was to stay, was to invest 23 million to expand the museum, create new public facilities, build workshop facilities, open the collection centre, and to turn Beaulieu into an even bigger centre for Britain's motoring heritage. But they can't agree on terms for the financial arrangements. So therefore, the museum would struggle to secure their funding. So staying at Beaulieu is not very attractive.
Nope. Nobody wins.
So no, that's the problem. Now, there's one last sort of wrinkle in this.
Go on then.
If Beaulieu wants to continue to operate a motor museum, how's it going to do that? If the museum leaves, it takes 3/4 of the collection with it. So Beaulieu, to stand any chance of being taken seriously, will have to replace those vehicles. They could use vehicles owned by the Montague family. They could acquire new vehicles, borrow cars from private collections, create an entirely new collection. But it's going to take time and it's going to take money.
Yes.
So if they've got to invest in all that anyway, would they be better to invest that money to help the existing trust get their development plans off the ground?
I mean, what you say there makes sense, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think, no. From what we can gather, that doesn't seem to be the way things are heading. And again, do the numbers bear that out? Because if it's attracting 310,000 visitors a year, how many people are there because they want to see the car museum? How many are there because they want to see the house? How many are going for the auto jumbles? How many are going for the other events?
Yes, quite.
We don't know. There's no breakdown of those figures. But if the museum eventually establishes itself somewhere else, Beaulieu could find itself competing with an organisation that used to be part of its own attraction, which is going to be quite
problematic,
difficult,
to say the least.
I would say. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
So the final thing to just mention is the Sunbeam 1,000 horsepower land speed record car.
I see. Go on then.
First car to exceed 200 miles per hour in 1927, driven by Sir Henry Seagrave at Daytona Beach. Extraordinary piece of British engineering history.
We've all seen it. It's tremendous.
It is tremendous, and it's owned by Lord Montague.
Yes.
But the trust, the charity, has been restoring it. So in 2023, the trust launched a fundraising campaign to raise approximately £300,000 to restore the car. That involved a complete strip down, rebuilding its two enormous 22-litre aircraft engines. And the plan was to take the restored car back to Daytona Beach next March.
Oh, really?
Which all sounds great. But the car belongs to Lord Montague. But all the restoration has been funded and undertaken by the charity. and now they're potentially separating. Now, the same thing happened with Donald Campbell's Bluebird, which, if you watch Harry's Garage, you will have recently seen it running at Coniston again, which was a wonderful, wonderful thing. But again, excuse me, the complicated dispute between the different parties there, between ownership and restoration and fundraising, got quite sticky for a while. And the Sunbeam land speed record car has similar potential. So it's just another complication on top of an already really complicated situation.
Bloody hell.
So kind of there we are, really. Have they fallen out? We still don't know, but I thought it was worth presenting some facts.
Yeah. They've certainly failed to reach an agreement, and I don't see that changing, if I'm brutally honest.
No.
I think
it's just too complicated. They're just too far apart.
Yeah. There's no middle ground there, unfortunately.
I can see both sides of it.
Yeah. But I don't. The trouble is, it was the wrong deal in place for too long.
It was set up in a very different time, of course, 50 years ago. It depends how you look at it. Is the Montague family being unreasonable in wanting a decent commercial return on the facilities that they have?
Mm-hmm.
Is the charity being unreasonable, saying they kind of want the relationship they've had to continue as it is, and they will continue to operate, and not only operate, but to develop the facilities further, thus perhaps increasing the value of said facilities to the family? Don't know. Could look at it both ways, can't you?
Quite. But what you've done there is you've just beautifully arranged the facts for us.
Thank you very much.
And just to be clear, we are completely biased. We're not siding with anyone here. This is just presentation of facts.
It's just a presentation of facts. The facts are all out there. Company's House, Charity Commission website, the Autocar magazine have done a piece on it. It's all out there. It's not difficult to piece together what seems to have gone on.
No.
If you read the announcements as well, all of which appear very friendly, but again, their submissions to the National Trust are out there. Sorry, not National Trust, National Lottery. Sorry, National Trust are the one organisation that don't seem to have any skin in this.
Yeah, they're not involved. That's right. Let's not throw that into the mix. We'll end up in a world of problems.
No, National Lottery Heritage Fund. So yeah, it's a complicated situation. Hopefully, they can. It'd be nice if they could find a way forward. But now, I think we were doubtful anyway. But now we've looked at the facts, I think possibly even more doubtful.
Yes. Okay. Well, we'll stay close to it. That's the best we can do.
I think so. Yeah.
And
see what happens.
We'll update as we hear things. Let's do that. It's. I tell you what, it's the week for it, isn't it? I'm not going to go into the one that I've got because we've got a whole nother legal thing going on. I think we're going to have to park that for another day. Which actually, timing of that's quite good because of the events of this weekend coming could actually reveal a bit more. So that's fine.
Yes. Yeah. I won't say any more, but I know what you're referring to. Yes, absolutely.
But
I agree.
I'll stay close to that and report back next week if we've got significant changes. But yes, that was really good, mate. You'd almost call that genuine journalism.
Well, I certainly hope so. I hope my my father will be proud of my research skills there.
I would have thought so. That was good. But what it is it's something that we've all grown up with it. It's if you like cars, you know what Beaulieu is, and it's a bit of a mainstay. And you go, oh dear, it's not going well. But it's about to change dramatically. So yeah, we'll stay on it. And that was vaguely sensible. That was, as episodes go.
It was for anybody interested in facts, which are hard to come by on the internet these days. Hopefully, that was of some interest.
Yeah, yes. that was really good, mate. Nice work on that. All right. I'll leave that to you to stay close to it, and if we get any significant changes, we'll come back to it. Yeah, that's good. I think
we'll certainly will.
Yeah, that's really good to delve into it after we covered the initial announcement last week.
Well, we were left with too many questions, and I thought let's see what we can find out.
Yeah, well, we had bugger all to work with last week, didn't we? So
that's true. That's true.
No, yeah, okay. Well, yeah, you stay on it. We've got another topic next week, which it's not the week for it at all, is it?
It has the potential to be as complicated as this one, actually. So make sure you tune in next week for that.
Yeah, we'll have a bit of that, but probably next week we'll include a bit of arsing about at least.
Oh, we should do something silly. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, I'll think of something daft for next week. No worries. That's really good, mate. We'll stay close to it. We'll get further updates, and we'll see where potentially 2 new car collections end up.
Looks like it. Yep.
Well, I think that's probably enough of that for this week. Check us out on all the various social medias and things. Thank you very much for listening.